This movie right here is like the gayest, not gayest movie I've seen probably since Luca. And I liked Luca. So does that mean I liked Venom, Let There Be Carnage? And welcome to my safe Gaver, and everybody, thank you so much for joining me on another review here on the Black Gay Comic Geek channel. And happy October 1st. It is officially spooky season. Unfortunately, the first movie we are talking about here is Venom, Let There Be Carnage. It's not spooky, but I guess it's close enough with aliens and monsters and symbiotes and serial killers and everything like that. But if this is your first time joining me here on the channel, welcome. The things I love talking about in my properties or in my reviews. A lot of times if it has blood, sex, gore, and magic, I'm in. I talk about fantasy, superheroes, comic books, all of that stuff. And I also talk about, because you know my name is Black Gay Comic Geek, I also like to talk about black and queer representation. So if that's your thing, hit that like button, give me a follow. But anyway, let's talk about Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Venom is the sequel to the 2018 movie that actually made a lot of money. That movie almost made $1 billion. And this movie is also starring Tom Hardy, but this time the director for this movie is Andy Serkis, who most people know as Caesar from the Planet of the Apes movie. He was Claw in Black Panther. And in Venom, Let There Be Carnage, Eddie Brock is looking to reignite his failing journalism career by interviewing serial killer Cletus Cassidy, who ends up becoming the host of a new symbiote, Carnage. And he ends up escaping prison after a failed execution plan. And I mean, the very first Venom movie, I didn't think it was terrible. I thought there was some things to enjoy about it. I just didn't like the fact that a lot of the CGI and action sequences took place at night, and so you really couldn't see everything that was going on. But at the end of the day, I found some level of enjoyment from that movie. But when it came to Venom, Let There Be Carnage for this movie, I saw this movie last night, September 30th, with Ron and Fantastic Frankie. If you guys have watched any of my lives, you already know who those two are. And for the most part, hanging out with them was basically the highlight of the movie for me. Like, that was what made this movie enjoyable. Like, funny enough, we were laughing pretty much the entire movie. But the thing about it is, we weren't laughing with the movie. At least, we don't think we, and that's the thing about this movie. Like, I don't know what to think about this movie, because if you are a person that is familiar with the comic books, or even if you're familiar with the very first movie, they don't explain anything in this movie. So all of your comic book knowledge, or even the knowledge from the first movie, is pretty much irrelevant, because things are happening in this movie and you're just like, what? And this movie's only like an hour and a half, which kind of, when I first found out about that, I was like, that's kind of short for a superhero movie. It's not to say all movies need to be 2 hours, 2.5 hours, because there is definitely some superhero movies that they could have cut out 10, 15 minutes from the storyline. But I feel like Venom in particular, this movie could have used maybe more time to flesh out a lot of these characters, especially the villains that were introduced, and also some of the side characters. Like, you have Michelle Williams in this movie, and she's an Oscar winner. Like, and not even just Michelle Williams, but Tom Hardy, Woody Harrelson. Like, a lot of these actors are like A-list actors, and you're like, why are they even in this movie? And that's the thing, like, you could tell that they were giving their all to make this movie worth something to watch. Like, Tom Hardy as both Eddie Brock and Venom, like, he was the most interesting character to watch. Like, you could tell he was trying to make this movie work. And I was just like, yeah, what is happening right now? Like, I don't understand what is happening. And it's just funny because, like, even just the opening of the movie, like, there's something that happens in the very beginning of the movie, and then they try to make it seem like it's this big deal, it's super sinister, and then the title card hits. It's like, Venom, Let There Be Carnage. And me, Ron, and Frankie looked at each other and was like, yo, this is bad already. Even certain moments with the score for this movie, like, it didn't match what was going on the screen. More specifically, I'm talking about the final score that played right before the credits ended. And the music was just playing, and I was just like, again, I looked at Frankie and Ron, and I was like, what is this music? And again, we just started busting out laughing. Like the whole time, the whole movie, we were just laughing again, and we weren't supposed to be laughing. It wasn't supposed to be funny, but we were laughing. And then when the movie ended, I was just like, yeah, this was terrible. And the people that were in front of us, they looked behind us and they started laughing too, because they felt the exact same way that we did. And just like they did with the first Venom movie, a lot of the fight scenes between Carnage and Venom, basically all of it took place at night, and so there was a lot of darkness and everything like that happening, so you couldn't fully make out what was going on. And even the moments where Carnage was wreaking carnage around the world or around San Francisco, because this movie took place in San Francisco, like a lot of it took place in darkness, so you couldn't make out a lot of the CGI. And a lot of movies do that to hide bad CGI. And yeah, in the trailer, a lot of the CGI for Carnage looked pretty good. And honestly, the trailer got me excited to see this movie. But a lot of the good parts that you saw in the trailer was the movie. Like, basically, if you saw the trailer, you saw all the good CGI from the movie. And also, if you saw the trailer, and this is why I'm like, I need to stop watching trailers, but it's kind of also hard because then I do trailer reactions and everything like that. But like, because a lot of times, the people that make the trailers are not the same people that make the movie. And basically, if you saw the trailer, especially because this movie's so short, if you saw the trailer, you pretty much know everything that you're gonna get, and you got everything that you're gonna get from this movie. Now with that, I will say they did do a much better job with Woody Harrelson's wig in this movie than they did in the first movie, because that wig, when he first showed up at the end, was terrible. But at the same time, it still wasn't, it was better, but it wasn't that, like, the whole, Frankie was talking, she was like, yeah, his wig is distracting me. I was like, it is, like, it just looks so fake. Now, I mean, not to harp on all the negative about the movie, because like I said, I did have some enjoyment, mostly just from the portrayal and performance of Eddie Brock and Venom, because Tom Hardy did voice Venom as well. And I do like their dynamic together, and I like the chemistry, and I like the character of Venom. And there were a lot of moments and the jokes that Venom and the line delivery that Venom had in this movie, that was one of the parts of the movie where I was laughing with the movie. Like I said, I enjoy the character of Venom. Now with that said, talking about what I did in my opening, I was confused about the story and the relationship that they were trying to tell between Eddie Brock and Venom. Like, it seemed like the two of them were in a relationship, like they were gay lovers pretty much. And that's the story that they were trying, like, it almost felt a little queerbaity in a sense. To the point that there was an entire article that actually came out with Andy Serkis, the director, saying that there were a lot of LGBTQ themes that he wanted to insert in this movie. To the point that there was a scene in this movie where, and it's not a spoiler, but there was a moment where Venom was saying that he's coming out of Eddie's closet, and he gives a whole speech about accepting who you are and being true to yourself and everything like that. And he's never felt more free. And I was just like, is this a gay love story? Like, what are you doing? And then it also made me think to myself, because Eddie's single. If you know from the first movie, he's not with Michelle Williams' character. I think her name is Anne. And you also saw this in the trailer. There's a moment where Venom is trying to make Eddie breakfast. And there's not a man on Earth, unless you're probably asexual, but there's not a man on Earth that's single especially, or even if you're married or with somebody, you're not jerking off for the most part. And with this whole love relationship that they're trying to tell with Eddie and Venom, I'm like, so I'm pretty sure Venom is giving Eddie a little helping hand on those lonely nights. And I'm just like, come on. You don't think he's not helping Eddie out? Like, come on. Like, there's no way. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Especially with this, like, love story that they're trying to tell between Eddie and Venom. But yeah, I'm pretty sure there are people that really will enjoy this movie. They might like this more, because I've also seen it online. Some people saying they like this movie better than the first one. I'm the exact opposite. And actually, somebody hit me up in my DM saying that they like this movie better than the first one. I'm the exact opposite. I like the first one way more than I like this movie. But I will say, like, the biggest redeeming quality for this movie, and really the only reason to watch this movie, is the post-credit scene. Like, the post-credit scene, like, the entire audience in the theater made an audible, like, oh, and yeah, I'm not gonna say the word, but like the entire theater erupt. Like, we were just like, wait, what? Obviously, I can't say it, you know, it's a non-spoiler review, but that post-credit scene made the entire movie worth it. But then also part of me is like, when you think about it even more, I'm like, was it really worth it? Because you're not gonna, but I'm not gonna, obviously I'm not gonna say anything, but yeah. Anyway, like, I didn't hate this movie. I didn't think this movie was garbage, but Venom Let There Be Carnage for me was definitely a huge miss. But the question is, now that you know what I thought about Venom Let There Be Carnage, if you saw Venom Let There Be Carnage, what did you think about Venom Let There Be Carnage? Maybe you loved it. Maybe you felt the same way I did. Either way, let me know down in the comment section below. Also, if you can, hit that thumbs up button and like this video. Even if you disagree with my opinion, like this video to really help out with the channel and the algorithm. And this is one of your first time checking out one of my videos, please check out the other videos on my channel. And if you like what you see, please subscribe for more and hit that bell notification button so you're alerted every single time I post a new video. Tell your friends, families, and neighbors about my channel to help me continue to grow. And as always, I will catch you guys next time. I still can't use both hands because this hand still hurts, but like I said, the magic still works.